Hey guys, it's a beautiful Colorado day. We're working on the STI again today. We're moving on to the intake manifold. If you caught our other videos, you would know that we're going to be doing the NA long runner manifold. We definitely decided on that. I think we're going to figure out the TGV situation a little bit later. I still want to try and run the Accesport. We'll see how it goes, but we are fully committed to going standalone if we need to. But we're gonna go ahead and get this fitted. We have our Illuminati spacers. I wanna set it on the engine and see what we have to cut and trim. My main goal with this is to not really shave it or do any of that. I wanna try and make it look as OEM as possible. I'm gonna be using some of the screw holes and stuff for like ground cables and the TGV fix that we have. We are going to start by putting that in the engine, making sure that we don't need to shave a ton of stuff. We'll just clearance a couple things. Then we'll take the old harness off of our old intake manifold, get that cleaned up, and figure out how we're going to route that. We're going to put the spacers on. And so there actually is one downside to using these spacers I see. You got to figure your gapping, your intake plenum here, and so your injector is going to sit a little bit higher. A lot of people say that it'll spray kind of on the spacer and then ricochet down into the intake port. I don't know if it really matters that much. You're going to get the fuel either way, so I thought it was worth giving it a shot. So we got the intake set on. You do have to bore the holes depending on what model intake manifold you get. My center holes tend to line up pretty good as of looking at it right now. So I'll start with boring the outside intake holes to get it to fit. But some other things that we're gonna shave, I kind of wanted to go over it. And that's gonna be those two little ribs right there, as well as the ones on the back. I'm gonna be shaving this one off right here because it's underneath the intake manifold and you don't really see it. But mostly everything that's on the top is going to stay just because I want to keep that OEM theme, and I'm going to use some of it for grounding holes. We do have one part right here that conflicts, which is the cam sensor. It's just touching the intake right there. So I need to clearance that so I can get the holes to line up. But once I get that clearance, I'm going to set it back on, make sure that the holes in the center do line up, and then we'll go on to shaving the other stuff.
We cleared it.
Yeah, double check and line up that side. Line up this side. Yeah, cool. So now that clears. That's good. We got it, babe.
Did it.
I know. So yeah, we got it on. I bored the holes to 3/8. Good job, babe. So we bored the holes to 3/8. Like I said, everyone's will be different, but we got everything to screw in loosely. I'm happy with that. But you know what's funny is I did all of that work and I still don't know if the throttle body fits. So let's just yank that throttle body off real quick and at least make sure it bolts up. This was a drive-by-wire intake, but I don't have the best luck, so. Damn, those are Rusty. You hear that? Gross.
Oh, it's broke right in the center. Fits.
Alright, so I think we got this fully shaved the way I want. I just took a little bit out of here, cut the bottom one off over here like we talked about, and then I just shaved some stuff on the back. But as you can see, water's dripping out. I washed this really good and got all the metal shavings out. Also cleaned the throttle body. So I'm gonna let this stuff sit overnight and dry out and make sure that it's completely free of any moisture. But let's move on to doing the harness now. We'll get that pulled off the old intake and start getting it cleaned up, and maybe we'll rewrap it. I'm not really sure yet. He wants to go for a walk. So I've been playing around with the idea right here. We got the harness done. You guys saw a little clip of that. I kind of just rewrapped it in electrical tape. I didn't go crazy with the power braid or anything. But I'm playing around with the idea of using brackets on the intake to kind of help mount the harness. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet, and plus I don't want these to be, I don't want them to look this way. So if we do end up using these, we'll paint them black, but I'm going to try and look for something that looks a little bit nicer. So for the time being, we're just going to zip tie the harness in place, and then we're going to move on to plugging the EGR valve on the back of the intake, and I'll show you guys that next. So I believe on the 2011 long runner manifolds, 2008, they're all the same. I believe those cars have EGR, which is exhaust gas recirc, just to help warm up your intake on winter cold starts and stuff. I believe that's what this is. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I did find a good way to plug it. So I took this out of my old oil pump off the EJ257, the blown, you know, the blown one, the old pump that we're not using, and this actually fits perfectly in the back of here, and it looks super nice. So I'm gonna put some Ultra Gray on that and seal it, but we need to make a plate for this with the bolt holes in it. I got kind of a cool way to do it for anyone else that has to do this same thing. So if you just put 2 pieces of tape on the back of it and then take like a pencil or something, you can mark the edge with the pencil. Mark my 2 holes that I need to drill. So then when you pull it off, you can cut that out with scissors and just tape it to whatever piece of metal you have, and it'll give you a perfect template on how to make that. So we'll make that template, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna RTV it in there, put a couple screws in, and that should get us really close. We'll put the throttle body and stuff on, and we'll show you guys what it looks like at the end.
The Band-Aid's never coming off.
So we were getting ready to throw the intake manifold on the engine, and I got my coolant line slash crankcase vent, and this bottom tube right here, it goes on the back of the crankcase over here. I realized that it's pretty cracked, and that's not gonna work. So we ended up having to run to the dealership again. We grabbed the right tube, it's a new one. I don't know if any of you guys care, if there's the part number, if you guys need it. So we got to get this installed back on that, and we'll get the coolant lines on and keep going. Probably gonna go real bad. Trying to get this on.
Oh, this slam.
Yeah, so I don't have the right tool for this, but let's see if we can get it. You think we can do it, Turbo?
He has faith. Well, that was easy.
Nailed it. Sick. Ready? Action. So I know you guys just saw us torque these down in the last video, but the coolant crossover slash crankcase vent has to be like its 2 mounting points are for these back crossovers. So I'm just gonna loosen all 4 of them evenly, take these 2 out so we can get our coolant crossover on. So I'm gonna do the coolant first. Cool, let's push down all the way. It's gonna be really hard to get to that clamp. But we'll figure it out. Watch, we put these on, the intake doesn't clear.
Don't say that.
Oh. We'll torque these down again. I'm just snugging them for right now. Just want to get everything in place and try and make sure I can get that clamp on the back. We'll put the coolant clamp on. There's another little small coolant line that runs right here that we'll put on. We should be ready to put the intake on. I always like to just do everything by hand at first, evenly. I just feel like it's good practice because I don't want this to go on crooked or anything. So the torque spec for TGV to head bolts for a Subaru, like a STI, it says is 18.1 foot-pounds. Stock long runner manifold for Forester's torque spec is 28 or something. So I'm just gonna start on the low end and go from there. Seems safer. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap up the video right here. We just got the throttle body on. I got to bolt it down and stuff. We'll plug in some wires, but everything went pretty well. Everything clears. So this is a good way for me to eliminate my TGVs. And I mean, this thing was $30 at the junkyard, and I think is a great upgrade. I love the look of it. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more content. If you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break from the STI. We're waiting for some more fuel system parts to come in. So we're going to go back to doing some stuff on the RS, and we'll probably be addressing the bodywork. I'm not really sure, but that's my idea for now. I'll see you guys next time.